So in today's session, we are gonna discuss about the constructor. So what is a constructor? Constructor in Java. So basically, when it comes to the constructor in Java, so it is a block of code which is similar to a method. So nothing but till now, how what you thinking about? What are you guys are thinking about a method? So you are thinking about a method saying that public void add parenthesis bracket open and curly brackets open and closed, and you are thinking like that, and yes, of course it was true. When coming to this constructor also, yes, of course the functionality of this constructor is also similar to the method, nothing but the task that need to be performed which is allocated to the constructor. But by default this constructor is created for the instance of an object to duplicate the entire class, nothing but, yes, of course you all are aware of this syntax. Yes, of course I will take down again. But what is the functionality of this constructor is nothing but, so it is called when an instance of the class is created. So what is meant by instance here? Instance is nothing but, so whenever you are trying to duplicate the class, whenever you are trying to create a reference for the class, so nothing but you are simply saying test t is equal to new test parenthesis bracket open and close and semicolon, and you are creating one instance of that entire class with the variable name t. So yes, of course I will show you over here. So test is my class name, t is equal to new test, and yes, of course you are taking down this syntax, right? So here in this variable t you are assigning all the methods, non-static methods and non-static variables, nothing but you are duplicating the entire class, test class, and you are saving all the methods and variables in the t, and this was assigned with the help of the constructor. And this test parenthesis bracket open and closed, this is the constructor, and the constructor name will be the same as the class name. The constructor name will be the same as a class name. Why? Because yes, of course you are building an instance for that class, then yes, of course the constructor name must be the class name only. So if you are taking text instead of test, so of course you are taking text, yes, of course the constructor name must be text. So new is a keyword which is a predefined keyword in Java which is used to create one instance. New string s is equal to new string. Yes, of course I will let you know. So by using these all syntaxes you will get to know why new is used and why the constructor is used. So until and unless you are aware of why we are creating t is equal to new text, nothing but we are creating an instance of that class, it is only called. So this line was necessary when we want to call an instance, when we want to create a reference, or when we want to create one duplicate of that entire class. So at that times we are calling this syntax, we are calling this constructor. So I will take down the easier way to describe this constructor. It is a block of code similar to method, so don't think that it was not similar to method. Why? Because methods will have curly brackets open and curly brackets closed. Yes, of course I will discuss those things when I discuss about how many types of constructor that we have in Java. It is a block of code similar to method, and it is called when an instance of a class is created. Instance of a class is nothing but an object. So here t is an object. Yes, of course it was a variable, and also it reflects to an object. So when coming to the syntax, so first of all, constructor, the thumb rule of the constructor must be the class name only, and it is the thumb rule you must have to remember. It was the thumb rule you must have to remember. And then the syntax for the constructor, construct variable name. So whatever the variable name that you want, yes, of course you can take that, is equal to new keyword and construct. So this is the name. So if you are taking public class demo, So if you want to take down the instance of the class, yes, you need to create demo. So wherever I have used the construct, you need to take the class name. Please take down the syntax. Construct variable name is equal to new construct. So wherever I have used this construct keyword, you need to take down the class name. I already mentioned it here. Constructor must be the class name only. So demo, I can take Karthik as a variable name. So whatever the variable name that you want, you can take. To make it simple, I will keep d is equal to new and construct demo, and so this will be the syntax. And this is instance of the class. Nothing but we have duplicated the entire class with the variable d. Now all the information in that class will be stored in the alphabet d. Why? Because it was a variable and it was a container which holds the value, and the value of the d is new demo. So with the help of this syntax, now you are taking down the duplicates, you are duplicating the entire values and the objects of the particular class. And then how many types of constructors do we have? When coming to these types of constructors, so we have two types of constructors. We have two types. So one is implicit and another one is explicit. So what is implicit and what is explicit? So implicit constructor, so by default, so whenever you are taking down any class, by default the implicit constructor will be created in the class file. What is meant by class file? So in the starting stage, we have taken down the command prompt saying that java c class name.java. At that particular time in your local, there is one class file that was generated in your local. So in that class file you can find this implicit constructor, and the syntax of that implicit constructor will be access modifier, class name, parenthesis brackets, and curly brackets open and curly brackets closed. Implicit constructor, it was a default constructor for each and every class. Yes, of course it will take down the default constructor. And when coming to this implicit constructor, so I will take down for this demo, and the constructor name will be public demo. So this will be the constructor. To inform you that, so the constructor does not hold return type. This constructor don't hold the return type. So what is meant by return type? So in the methods we are having the return type called void, or else we can take the string, so or else we can take the int. But when coming to this constructor, it won't has any return type, and it is again a thumb rule. Okay, so this implicit constructor we are not able to see that. Why? Because the Visual Studio Code will automatically generate the class file and show you the output. So you don't need to pass the command saying that java c class name.java. Automatically it will compile the things and it will give you the output. So that's the reason we are using IDEs instead of Notepad. But however, so I have shown you the process to take down the things for the class file. So how you can generate the class file with the command in the command prompt, and in that class file you can find this implicit constructor. So then what is explicit constructor? So by default in the Java program, it will get the output from the implicit constructor. So if you want the explicit constructor, so please take down this syntax. Please take down this syntax in the code. So here in the code you can include this constructor. So then, so whatever the default constructor it was there in the class file, it won't check for it. Why? Because you are saying to the Java code saying that don't go to the implicit constructor, don't use the default thing. So I will take down an example. So if you are going to buy a car, okay, so by default they will give you one what is that, they might have given you black color seat covers. Okay, each and every car hold 5 seats or 2 seats or whatever the car that you are purchasing. Yes, of course they will provide the seats, right? So in that seats, yeah, they might have given you a default seat cover with the color black. So you are not willing with the black color, so you want white or cream biscuit color seat covers. So what you will do? You will use explicit seat covers. You will take your car to any other showroom or any other manufacturing unit, and you will say the requirement for that mechanic or the seat cover specialist, and he will design the seats with the foam that you want, design that you want, and all. But you are not damaging the default seat, but you are adding the explicit seat cover. Now you understood? But whenever you open the car door, you will find the white color seat cover, right? Instead of black. But if you tear that white cover seat cover, then it will be black color. It was not affected. The inbuilt and the default seats was not affected by the explicit thing. Here also in the Java point of view, each and every Java class holds the implicit constructor. If you want the explicit constructor that need to be taken in the program, yes, of course you can go ahead. But don't expect the output from the implicit constructor. The output will be the explicit constructor once you have taken down the explicit constructor in the Java program. Okay, so then this will be the syntax. And however, I have taken down the thing saying that, so whenever one second. So yes, of course I have taken down the thing over here. So here I was giving the sysOut statement saying that I am inside a constructor. Explicit constructor. So as I informed you, whenever you have taken down 100 lines of code, the execution process will start from the main method. So if in the main method, so if you have existed this code, existed this line in the main method, you are writing this line in the main method, right? So at that time, this constructor will taken place. This constructor will execute. Nothing but this statement will render. How is that possible? Nothing but in the main method, whenever you are taking down the instance of the class using the constructor, so whatever the message that you had typed in the constructor, that will be rendered on the screen. First, if you have taken this line in the main method, and I will show you in the Visual Studio Code how it works. I simply copy paste the things from the notepad, and I will show you the output, and this will be the explicit constructor. And one thing I just want to inform you that this constructor, access modifiers must only can be only public, private, and protected. No default. No default is nothing but no keyword over there. So it might be either public, private, or protected. Okay. So then let us take down looping statements. Explicit constructor written by your end explicitly. When coming to this looping statements, so what is meant by a loop? So we are in a loop. It was keep on repeating. So the error is keep on repeating even until and unless we have done a number of things, a number of modifications. We are in a loop of errors. So we are not getting out of it. We are not gonna get out. I'm stuck in traffic. I'm not able to reach out there in the particular time or the required time or something like that in time. So they will say like that, we are stuck. So likewise, when coming to the looping statement, yes, the code will be keep on repeating. Execution of the code or execution of the statement. So whatever the statements that you want, yes, of course it will be keep on repeating until and unless the condition gets satisfied. So I will be stuck in the traffic, in the Bangalore traffic, until and unless the traffic police controls the traffic. So what happens if the traffic police, let us assume that if the entire traffic department in the Bangalore city was absent for one day, no one can arrive or reach the destination. And I'm pretty damn sure about that. Without the traffic police and the signals, no one can reach the destination in Bangalore. So likewise, until and unless your condition gets satisfied, the loop is what is that, repeating the execution of the flow or execution of the block of code whatever you have taken down. It will keep on executing until and unless your condition is get satisfied, your condition was getting satisfied. And in these looping statements, so we have three looping statements which we use regularly. So one is a while, do while, for loop. And when you've gone through the collections and if you've gone through the data structures and all, yes, of course you might have using this for each loop. So once I have taken down the collections thing, yes, of course I will explain on for each loop as well. But at the end of the day, the functionality of the each and every looping statement is nothing but it will be rendered, it will be executed until and unless, so whatever the condition that you are giving there is satisfied or not. Is satisfied or not. Okay, so I will take down the definition over here. It is the repeated execution of a block of code as long as the condition gets satisfied. The condition gets satisfied, or the condition, the output of the condition is true or false. So until it falls, yes, the loop is keep on repeating. Otherwise, if the condition is true, if my condition is satisfied, it will come out of the loop. And there are three types where we have regularly using these things. Three types. So one is while loop, do while, for loop. So these are the three main things where you will see. So whenever you are asking the code for the chat GPT or whatever the things that you want, yes, of course it will give these things. Until and unless if you are prompting the chat GPT to give the code in the collections, it will give the for each loop. For each loop. Nothing but yes, of course these are for the iterations. The technical term that we use in the looping statement is nothing but iterate. Iterate the code, iterate the block of code, iteration. So this iterate and iteration, so it is a technical term. Iteration is nothing but repetition of the code, repetition of the block of code. Please remember the word iterate or iteration. Iteration or iterate. Iterate. So now let us take down the syntax for the while loop. So each and every looping statements, at the end of the day, the functionality is same, but the syntax was changed and the logic that you are applying was different. That's it. Okay, when coming to the while loop, we will take down while, and then we will take down the condition, and then we take down the curly brackets open and curly brackets closed. Curly brackets open and the curly brackets closed. So yes, of course you can take down the statements over here. Statements over here. Okay. So yes, like that. So then let us go with the do while. So I will tell you what is the difference between the while and do while. So do curly brackets open and curly brackets closed, while and condition. Yes, of course you need to remember this syntax. Condition. So this will be the syntax for the do. And now what is the difference between while loop and do while loop? The only difference between the while and the do while loop is nothing but in the while loop it checks for the condition first and then it will enter into the block of code. The block of code, curly brackets open and curly brackets closed. But when coming to the do while loop, the minimum repetition, the minimum iteration of the code will be once. After that it will check the code. After that it will check the condition. So in the do while, the minimum iteration of the code will be once, at least one time, without checking the condition. But when coming to the while loop, yes, of course it will take down the condition, it will check down the condition, and yes, of course it will take down the things once the condition gets satisfied. Once the condition gets satisfied. And when coming to the for loop, so for loop is completely different. So most of the scenarios, the most of the scenarios we taking down the for loop and for each loop in the advanced way. And then when coming to the for loop, yes, of course we can take down the things in the single line, so which is more easier when compared to do and while loop, do while and while loop. So when coming to this for loop, so this loop is typically used to initialize and also to take down the condition and also for the update, as I all as I, oh sorry as I already informed you before. So when you are taking down the unary operators, post increment, pre decrement, post decrement and pre increment, so this unary operators plays a crucial role when coming to the looping statements, understood? So for that, yes, of course I will take down the things in the Visual Studio Code. So let us take down the syntax for the for loop. For, so let us take down the initialization. What is initialization? Nothing but int I or string s, int a, like that. So after that you need to keep the semicolon, not the comma, semicolon. So most of the people will do the mistakes in the difference between the semicolon and the comma. So after that, condition, and then we will take the update and curly brackets open and curly brackets closed, curly brackets open and curly brackets closed. And yes, of course you can take down n number of statements over here, n number of statements. So whatever the logic that you want. So yes, of course I'm not sure about your individual logic. Yes, of course you can take whatever the logic that you want, whatever the logic that you get on that on your mind in that particular time. So so let us take down the things easier. So let me show you the things in the Visual Studio Code. Before that let me take down the things on the comments as well. So when coming to the comments in Java is nothing but it is a statement which will not execute in the runtime, and they are been taken down in the program to the rest of the people to know what you are trying to do in that program. So if you are taking n number of things in the program, so if I am your friend, so I don't know anything, so what you are taking down. So if you mention these comments in the program, then I will get to know that yes, of course you are taking something good in this line, or you are describing this line with the comments. So nothing but, let us take a real-time example. So in the Instagram, yes, of course you are scrolling down the what is that, reels, and then Instagram reels. At that particular time you are watching the comments. So what the comments will describe? The comments will describe the data. Nothing but yes, of course I have seen this movie, it was good. So based on the comments, you will get the review of that reel, right? So by searching that comments, yes, of course some will be funny, some will give the depth of that. So if you watch any what is that, politics reels, yes, of course if you watch any updated news from the Trump in the reels, so in the comments some of the officials will mention that yes, this H1B visa or H1B visa is applicable for the newly launched H1Bs for the companies, or like that. I'm not sure about that. You are watching that all these things. Yes, of course I will watch all those things in the Instagram one. Okay, so likewise with the help of these comments, yes, of course we are taking down the things easier for the developers to understand what are the things I have done. So nothing but if I taken down the 100 lines of code and I have given you, so for your understanding it will take an half an hour or 10 minutes or something like that. But with the help of the comments, yes, of course you can directly read the comment and you can know that yes, of course here Karthik has used string s to take hello world in it, and Karthik has taken the constructor and called the non-static methods. So likewise it was helpful for the readable purpose and for the understanding purpose. Yes, of course you are taking down the things. And one thing I just want to inform that, so there are different types of comments in Java. Different types of comments. 3 types. Single line comments, Nothing but with slash. They are represented with the help of slash. And multi-line comments with slash star. You can take a number of lines, and I will show you in the code. I will show you all the things in the single code. Okay, don't get worried. So then let me take down a documentation comment. So most of the scenarios you won't use these documentation commands when you are went to the real-time scenario at that time. So you are so if you are holding 3 years of experience or 2 years of experience, the 8 years of experience Java developer will provide the code for you. In that code he will include the PDF or the Word document and all with the help of this documentation comments, and they are with slash double star. Slash double star. And the thumb rule of this documentation comments will be, it must be above the package, class and variable. So nothing but, yes, of course we have package com at the first line, in the first line of your program, but only this documentation comments. Okay, the rules are only for this documentation comments. It must be above the package, so automatically it will be above the, it is above the class name and also the import statements and all. Okay, it not must be inside, it is not used inside the method. So documentation is provided at the top, after that only, yes, of course. So when you bought a book or when you bought a TV, so if you open the box of a TV or the laptop, you will find one manual book on the top. Instead of TV, you can find the first book is manual. The book you can find there. Yes, of course, if you are purchasing any book, so if you read the novels and all, you can find the review in the first page or the page summary. You can call it as a summary, or else if you open your resume, so you will include the summarize or summary over there under your resume on the profile, in the topmost thing. So likewise, this documentation comments also taken down at the top of the class. Okay, so now let us take down the things using the while loop and all. So I just want to take down the Visual Studio Code. So first of all, I need to show you the constructor as well, and I will take down the comments. So let me I don't want this thing. Yeah, so this is a plain program. Okay, now let us take down the constructor, explicit constructor. Anyways, I have an implicit constructor, so I am taking the public scan, and I am taking down the thing public scan. So this is an explicit constructor. So here I am taking down sysout statement. The sysout statement I am giving, I am inside an explicit constructor. Explicit constructor, done. So now in the main method, so I am simply calling the syntax that you all guys are aware of. Scan yes is equal to new scan. Anyways, I am not taken any of the thing, so let me take one class level variable over here. So one thing, I will take the class level variable over here. Int a is equal to 10 semicolon, and then I will call s dot a, and let us keep this thing in the printing statement. Print ln, done. So I have taken down the explicit constructor public scan. So once I have taken down the code in the main method, the execution of the program will be, I am inside an explicit constructor, and then it will print 10 in the next line. How it is possible? So I will take down the comment over here. Double quotations. It is a usage of explicit constructor. So it was the comment that I have taken down. Green color line. So you can write n number of lines. So here I was saying that I am printing the value of 10. Okay, so this is an identification. So yes, of course, now by watching these things, by watching these comments, you are able to see that yes, now Karthik has taken down the comment over here. He is using an explicit constructor. Then automatically he has taken down the syntax of the explicit constructor. He is mentioned here clearly, and also he mentioned here clearly, I am printing the value of 10 in the line 12. It was a comment. Done. So likewise, you can use the comments slash, double slash, and slash star like that. So then let me take down sorry. So let me take down one int I is equal to 11 and int j is equal to 22. Good. So now let us take the while loop. Let us take down the while loop. While and condition, curly brackets open and curly brackets close. The condition is I less than or equal to 22, and then here I will take down the sysout statement. I will take down the count I, and I will increase the value saying that I plus plus. So what is happening over here? So I have taken the while loop and I just want to print the numbers from 11 to 22, or else yes, of course you can take 1 over here. So it will print from 1 to 22. It will check until and unless, until and unless the condition is I must be less than or equal to 22. If I taken down the equal to over here, then it will print up to 21 only. So if I use is equal to, then it will print up to 22. So let us check the program by executing the code. So here this unary operator, yes, of course I will explain you the workflow. So first of all, let me check whether code is executing or not. So I can see that my code is executing. As I informed you that I am inside an explicit constructor. Good. After that, the second line 10. I already informed you in the comments. Then so I will take them the comment over here saying that I used while loop to print 1 to 22. Okay, this is a comment. So see, count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and until 22. How is it possible? The code is keep on executed. The block of code is keep on executed its code, its functionality until and unless the condition is get satisfied. And I will explain. So here, so please make a note. Here my value of I is 1. I less than or equal to 22. Good. So then I come here, so it will print count I 1. Okay.